Okay, so now today we will discuss the optical absorption. Now, optical absorption, the formal definition of the optical absorption is that I am writing down the definition that the optical absorption means the absorption of electromagnetic radiation of light by semiconductor material. Okay, so before discussing the optical absorption process, previously we have discussed the wave particle duality principle. Now in the case of the wave particle duality principle, all of you know that there is a principle called wave particle duality. Now in the case of the wave particle duality principle, it has been indicated in this principle that light wave could be treated as particle. So light wave could be treated as particle in this wave particle duality principle, which is referred to as photons. Okay, so the energy of the photon is represented by h into nu. Nu is the frequency of light and h is the Planck constant. Okay, h is the Planck constant and nu is the frequency of light. Here is the frequency of light. Okay, so according to this principle we can easily say that according to this principle, 1 minute. Now according to the wave particle duality principle, E equal to h nu. So here we can calculate the lambda of the wavelength lambda of any light wave, that is represented by c divided by nu. C is the velocity of light and you can calculate that hc divided by E, and if you just put the value, it has been turned out that 1.24 divided by E micrometer. So that is the formal wavelength of a light falling onto the semiconductor. Okay, and E is the photon energy. So there are possible photon semiconductor interaction mechanism for, through this principle we can say that the wave particle duality principle, we can say that the light is not a wave. Here we are not considering light as a wave particle wave. It is been considered that the light as a particle. Okay, just like a particle. So we can consider the light as photons. Photon can be considered as the light energy, and the energy of the photon is represented by E equal to h nu. H is the Planck constant, nu is the frequency of light, and from there you can calculate the wavelength of that. Okay, you can calculate the wavelength of that particular light energy. Now there are several possible photon semiconductor interaction mechanism. For example, photon can interact with the semiconductor lattice, whereby photon energy is converted to heat. Now as we already considered in this wave particle duality principle, photon is a particle, so it may be considered as an electron and hole like in this way. So this photon can be interact with the semiconductor lattice. So it can interact with the semiconductor lattice, that means it can encounter any collision with the semiconductor lattice, whereby photon energy, the energy of the photon, whether there is a collision or the type of thing happens with the semiconductor lattice as the photon, so photon energy is converted to the heat energy. Okay, so photon can also interact with the impurity atoms, not with the semiconductor lattice, it can also interact with the impurity atom also. Okay, and either donor or acceptor they can interact with the defects also. They can interact with the defects of the semiconductor. We can also search for what is the semiconductor defects. I am not discussing the semiconductor defects here. However, the basic photon interaction process is of interest of interaction of the valence electron. When the photon collides with the valence electron, enough energy may be imparted to elevate the electron into the conduction band. Now mainly we are concerned with the photon interaction with the valency electron, okay, or the valence band electron. So that is the main objective of this optical absorption process. So as I have said in the previous slide, that the optical absorption means that the absorption of the electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation means here we am considering the light wave as electromagnetic radiation, but after that we are considering the light as an electromagnetic radiation, and also through the wave particle duality principle we have also considered that the light as a particle, so by the semiconductor. So that is the optical absorption. How light energy can be absorbed inside the semiconductor material, that can be represented by this optical absorption phenomena. Okay, so this is the definition and this is the understanding behind that. Through this understanding we can know that the light can be treated as a particle. Now the optical absorption also depends on property of the material. It is also depends on the property of the material also. This is also a characteristics of the optical absorption. Now how the optical absorption takes place inside the semiconductor. Okay, now whenever the optical absorption happens, then I am drawing a simple diagram like this. So this is your okay, so this is your valence band. Here the electron actually resides before excitation. Okay, so this is your valence electron that are situated within the valence band. So this is your valence band, and this is your valence band, and this is your conduction band, and this is the band gap energy of the semiconductor represented by Eg. And suppose one electron from here is been provided some amount of energy. So I am just drawing the diagram first. Here this is the A, okay, and from there it is okay. So this is your A, B and C process, and here in this process we are providing the energy in terms of the photon energy. So photon energy is h nu. So this energy is the photon energy. Now this is the process happening inside the semiconductor, and when the semiconductor is illuminated with the light, suppose we are illuminating the semiconductor with the light, then what happens? First of all, this is the diagram. I am again drawing the simplified diagram. This is the, suppose this is your semiconductor, this is the band gap, lowest level of energy, conduction band, this is the valence band, and this is the band gap energy, and this is h nu. Okay, now three cases can be happen inside the semiconductor. That first case, h nu is less than Eg. In the second case, h nu is equal to Eg, and third case, h nu is greater than Eg. This is the three possible case can happen inside the semiconductor. Now if this is the three possible case happening inside the semiconductor, then in the first case, if h nu is less than the semiconductor, less than the band gap energy of the semiconductor, then what happens? In this case, there is no excitation is possible. If h nu is less than Ag, then there is no excitation of the electron. Okay, so there is no excitation of the electron, and in this case, lights that are not absorbed actually inside the semiconductor, here in this case lights are not absorbed by the semiconductor, they are passed through the semiconductor. Okay, So the thing is that when the semiconductor is illuminated with light, photon may be absorbed or may be propagated through the semiconductor. Okay, it may be absorbed or may be propagated through the semiconductor depending on the photon energy. So I have said that in the first case, when the photon energy is less than the band gap energy, then the photon are not readily absorbed. In this case, okay, it is not readily absorbed. If it is not readily absorbed, so there is no excitation is possible. Okay, no excitation, they are not readily absorbed inside the semiconductor. So in this case, light is transmitted through the material and the semiconductor appears to be transparent. This is the third point. Semiconductor appear to be transparent in this case. So this is the 3 point related with the when the electron energy is less than the band gap energy. So when the electron energy is less than the band gap energy, then the semiconductor looks transparent. Why? Because there is no absorption of any photon inside the semiconductor and there is no excitation of the valence band electron to the conduction band. So this is the 3 case happens to the semiconductor when the photon energy is less than the band gap energy. So this is the photon energy. Okay, so in this case, as there is no photon absorption happening inside the semiconductor happens to be look transparent in this case. Okay, now if the photon energy is equal to the band gap energy, then photon can interact with the valence electron and elevate the electron into the conduction band. Okay, this is the photon energy. Okay, so this is your photon energy E equal to h nu, and this is your this is the greater than the band gap energy. If this is greater than the band gap energy, then what happens? The photon can interact. It can interact with valence electron. Okay, so it can interact with valence electron and can elevate them to the conduction band. That means here in this case, it can interact with the valence electron, okay, and it can elevate them to the conduction band. So this is the case. Okay, so here a hole is being created and electron is being elevated to the conduction band. This is the case. Valence band contains many electrons and the conduction band contains many empty states, so the probability of interaction is high when h nu is greater than Eg. Okay, so there is a number of available energy states available in the conduction band and there is more number of available electrons available in the valence band, so the probability of interaction is higher and it can elevate to the conduction band. Now this interaction creates an electron in the conduction band and hole in the valence band. I have written down that it creates an electron in the conduction band and creates a hole in the valence band. This is electron hole pair generation. The basic absorption process of different values of h nu would be different. So whenever electron energy, photon energy is greater than the band gap energy, the electron hole pair is being created and the excess energy may give to the electron hole for the additional kinetic energy, which may be dissipated at the heat in the semiconductor. That means if this is the amount of energy required for the electron from the valence band to elevate into the conduction band. Now what happens after the photon energy is greater than the Eg, then the photon energy is much higher than the Eg. So after reaching the conduction band, it will get some amount of kinetic energy and move some amount of distance into the conduction band. It moves some amount of distance into the conduction band. So that energy comes from h nu minus Eg. So that is the amount of energy available to the electron and that energy will be dissipated as a kinetic energy, so the electron moves some amount of distance into the conduction band. Now whenever the electron energy is just equal to the band gap energy, then what happen? There is a generation of hole here and the electron is just reached to the conduction band. So this is the 3 case. This is 1, this is 2 and this is 3. Here in this case the photon energy is much higher than the band gap energy, so there is some kind of kinetic energy gain for the case of the electron. So electron is gaining some amount of kinetic energy. Now whenever the photon is incident onto the semiconductor, the intensity of photon flux, okay, so the intensity of photon flux is represented by IVX. Okay, so this is the intensity of the photon flux, and expressed in terms of the energy, unit is energy per centimeter square second. So this is the photon flux denoted by IVX. Okay, and expressed in terms of energy per centimeter square second. Now if this is a semiconductor, suppose this is a length dx, and photon flux is incident in one direction here, and after that the photon flux may be IV x plus ds. If this is the case, okay, the diagram may be look like this. If this is the case, there is a semiconductor material of length dx, and to the left hand side there is a incident photon energy, and to the right hand side this is the outgoing photon energy. If this is the two case, position x and position x plus dx, here is the position x, left hand side it is position x, and the right hand side it is position x plus dx. So here some amount of photon energy I have represented by this, here the photon energy is represented by this, and the photon flux is represented by IVX. Unit is energy per centimeter square per second. So energy absorbed per unit time in the distance dx. Okay. So energy absorbed per unit time in the distance dx is represented by per unit time. If you want to calculate the per unit time, then this is the unit of IVX, the unit of the IVX, the unit of energy per centimeter square second. So I am now I am going to calculate the energy absorbed per unit time in the distance dx. So what is this energy? That energy is not all of the energy will be absorbed, some fraction of this energy will be absorbed. That fraction is called the absorption, photon absorption coefficient. Okay, and the distance is dx. So this is the amount of energy absorbed per unit time in the distance dx. So that is the expression. Okay, where alpha is the absorption coefficient. Absorption coefficient is the relative number of photon absorbed per unit distance. Okay, it is the measure that how much photon is absorbed per unit distance, and it unit is centimeter to the power -1. So that is your, that means not all of the photon will be absorbed, some amount of photon will be absorbed. That fraction is called the coefficient. Okay, and represented by alpha, unit is centimeter to the power -1. Now from the figure, here from the figure we can write this equation as that IV x plus dx minus IV x, that is difference between the incident photon flux and the outgoing photon flux, is equal to change of d IVX divided by dx into dx, and that is also equal to minus alpha IVX into dx. Okay, so difference between these two is change of this. That means actually the unit is IVX, so I am going to write the dIVX by dx, change of with respect to distance, and I have to multiply with the distance to cancel this and get back to the IVX, and that is represented by this equation. This equation I have also discussed here, that the amount of photon absorbed per unit time with a distance dx, that is represented by alpha. That means not all of the photon will be absorbed, some amount of fraction of the photon will be absorbed, that is represented by alpha into IVX, and that is the distance dx, that's why it is multiplied by dx. So that is the total equation. Okay, so from that equation you can write, and negative sign is, that means photon energy is reduced. I have assumed that the photon is absorbed, that means energy is actually reducing, that's why it is negative. Okay, so d IVX divided by dx equal to minus alpha into IVX. So if you solve this equation, then your solution will be IVX will be IV naught, this is the initial photon energy, alpha into x. Okay, so this is the actual expression for the photon energy. So the intensity of the photon flux decreases exponentially with the distance through the semiconductor. So if this is the semiconductor, here the photon flux is IB naught, sorry, IBx is represented by this. So at the here is the photon energy, you may consider that IB 0 x equal to 0, and here after traveling some distance the photon energy is reduces to e to the power minus alpha x. Okay, so it is exponentially decreases with distance x through the semiconductor material. That means photon intensity is a function of x for two general user absorption coefficient. Now that if you just want to plot the two absorption coefficient inside the semiconductor, then it can be represented by, if this is your IB 0, a large alpha and small alpha. So if this is large alpha, then this is the diagram, and this is large alpha, this is the diagram. Okay, so this is for large alpha and this is for small alpha, and this is your distance. Okay, so this is the intensity versus distance plot, and if the absorption coefficient is higher, then this will be graph intensity inside the semiconductor, photon flux intensity, and if the alpha is less, this is the photon flux intensity within the semiconductor. Okay, so the absorption coefficient only comes into picture, absorption coefficient or alpha is only comes into picture when there is a absorption of the photon inside the semiconductor. That means that the photon energy, when the photon energy must be greater than the band gap energy. If the photon energy is less than the band gap energy, then I have said that all of the photon will be transmitted through the material and the material looks very transparent. Okay, and the absorption of energy depends upon the nature of the material also. That means the incident photon energy to the outgoing photon energy to the incident photon energy, that means the transmitted photon energy through the semiconductor, and the incident photon energy is called the absorption coefficient. That means how much energy will be absorbed inside the semiconductor. Not all of the photon flux will be absorbed inside the semiconductor. Some may be dissipated through the semiconductor, but some may be absorbed. So that coefficient I am going to have to find out through this. So what is the value of alpha, what is the nature of the photon energy at distance x and at distance x plus dx. So here is the x equal to, maybe you consider x equal to 0. If you plot x equal to 0, the photon energy is IB 0, and if you consider here is x, then the photon energy is IB 0 e to the power minus alpha x. That means photon energy decreases exponentially inside the semiconductor. So that we have proved here. Okay, so this is all about the optical absorption inside the semiconductor and how the optical photon flux vary with the distance inside the semiconductor, and what is the three different conditions for which optical absorption may happen inside the semiconductor or may not happen inside the semiconductor. And if the optical absorption may not happen inside the semiconductor, that means photon energy less than the band gap energy, then why the semiconductor material looks transparent. That is all about the explanation has been discussed here. Thank you.